Oil prices have been moving higher for 2 days in a row, which is quite natural as they were rapidly declining a few days ago. The scale of a decline was so significant that the correction in the market became inevitable. Another reason for growth stems from the fact that the recent fall in prices was caused purely by assumptions and guesses rather than by evidence. Therefore, we can expect crude prices to return to their previous weekly highs. Brent crude has been actively trading higher for the second consecutive session, thus gaining 6.5% of its value, which is quite a lot. In case Brent stays within this uptrend, it can rise even further to $70 per barrel. Meanwhile, North American crude WTI displays similar dynamics, but with one difference. The area of $66.50 to $67 per barrel has already been tested by the market. This can lead to a slowdown and, as a result, to a pullback. We can already see the beginning of this pullback that may push the price even to the level between $64 and $64.50 a barrel. In the meantime, the Russian ruble eased by 0.5% against the US dollar during yesterday's session. However, there were no drastic changes for the pair. The price has once again failed to break through the resistance area of 73.80 and 73.90. So what was the result? As we can see, the pair returned to the base point at 73.36. Consolidation below the level of 73.30 will mean the continuation of a downtrend. Meanwhile, the ruble depreciated against the euro by 0.6% yesterday. However, on Tuesday, the ruble managed to win back its losses. At the moment, the euro-ruble pair is trading in the channel between 89.20 and 90.35. This is where the most trading volume is located. It is difficult to predict the behavior of the pair within such a wide trading range. In the short term, we can assume that today's release of macroeconomic data from Germany will not support the euro. The GDP data for the first quarter turned out to be worse than expected. Therefore, it's very likely that the ruble will try to strengthen against the European currency up to the level of 89.40. When closing yesterday's session, the ruble started to rise and won back almost all of its losses from Monday. This time, it was probably supported by rising oil prices, although for a couple of days it was simply ignoring this factor. Apparently, amid the lack of other news, market participants had to focus on oil. Notably, the release of the data on employment and retail sales was suddenly postponed for 2 weeks. However, market participants did not pay any attention to this fact, although such a delay may raise questions regarding the state of the Russian macroeconomic data. That's all for now. Thank you for watching and stay tuned.